In this video, I'm going to uncover how one of our WarriorBabe clients went from this to this, and I'm gonna break down the #1 barrier that I see within the fitness industry, that women think that they are too old to get toned. Back in 2019 or around 2020, there was a star child that came into the program. Her name was Cheryl. And she was 57 years old when she started. She came in doing things that were not really in alignment with building more muscle and wanting to be toned, which was the end result she wanted to get to. She was doing like container-sized meals and no carbs and was not really incorporating an appropriate strength training routine. And the biggest thing was that even at this age, she had the mentality of knowing that whatever she was doing now needed to change, and she was willing to be coachable. And working together now for 3 to 4 years later, she has completely transformed her entire body to building way more muscle mass to what she had before, decreasing her body fat, and looking way more toned at 60 years old. I'm gonna dive into the structured approach with working with Cheryl in terms of the things that we did to get her to the X result. And then we're gonna talk about her consistency throughout all of the different phases that we went through. And we're gonna talk about the mindset that she had that enabled her to get to the results that she did. I know we're only a couple minutes into this video, but if you are a Cheryl and you feel like that you are struggling with the same things, we are here for you. Definitely check out the links below this video and dive into WarriorBabe.com and check out our VIP one-on-one coaching programs. The structured approach that Cheryl and I implemented was, first and foremost, she understood that in order to get to where she wanted to be from where she was starting out, it wasn't going to be like a 12-week journey or like a 6-month journey. She understood that she was starting in a place of which she was like a skinny fat, not much muscle tone to her body, and she wanted to have more muscle tone to her body, and she knew that that was a journey to go on. She accepted the fact that it could take like 18 months to a year to 2 years to 3 years in order to achieve that type of goal that she wanted. So out of the gate, she had the mental frame of like, I'm here and I'm here for the long haul. She understood that there needed to be a phase of going through like a cut, a phase of going through which was a deficit, a phase of going through like a build and eating more food to give the muscle the food that it needs to grow, and then going back into a cut to reveal all the hard work that she put in there, and then moving through different phases in order to achieve said goal. Let's dive into the detailed strategies that Cheryl went on along her journey to achieve the result that she did with building way more muscle. So out of the gate, kind of already mentioned, she came in with the mentality of knowing and understanding and being willing to be coachable to the fact that if she wanted to get to X result, she had to eat more food and build more muscle to get to X result. So we kicked off her journey going immediately into a build, meaning she was eating around like 3,000 calories and gained about 20 pounds initially out of the gate, which, you know, to me as a coach, that's super exciting to witness, but to a client, maybe not like with Cheryl's mentality, that could be very scary to gain 20 pounds out of the gate. It feels like you're going in the opposite direction. However, that 20 pounds isn't necessarily all fat. There was a lot of muscle weight being built here in that process. Then moving out of a build, we went into a cut. And what was really cool was she pretty much lost all of that weight. But along the journey, she held on to the muscle that she had built. So she was starting to already show more of that muscular body composition that she was hoping to accomplish. After the first cut ended, she was satisfied, but she was like, Nikki, I want more. I want to build more muscle. Like I'm getting closer to where I want to be, but I'm not there yet. So we moved back into a second build. And this build was a little bit more tame. She didn't gain as much weight, but some strategies that I approached with her in terms of like her training and her workout routine was different than what we would have done in a cut, right? So her strength training was a little bit more progressive overload. It was focused on low repetitions and a cut back, way back on her cardio. So she could just focus on the muscle building process. From here too, she was eating about like 2,800 calories. And then we spent a decent amount of time in this phase for the second build. And then what was the coolest thing was we finally moved out of a build, we put her back into a cut, and this is where we've seen all of like the phases compound into the most incredible result yet. She was honestly the same weight as what she started at in the initial like build at the beginning of the build, her first build, but she looked drastically different because she had put on so much more muscle mass and she decreased the body fat around her. So it just led to an overall completely different body composition that she had. Getting back to the strength training, Cheryl was doing those 4 to 5 days a week. She was doing like a bro split that also then transitioned into a full body routine. Bro split being like chest, back, legs, shoulders, arms, and then we moved into a full body approach. However, also along her journey, we focused on her testing for her 1 max rep, which helped me to calculate exactly the type of weight that she should be putting into a squat, deadlift, a shoulder press, and a bench press. And getting down into that kind of data is really the most accurate way at which you can know exactly what type of resistance that needs to be placed on your body at the ability and load of which you can handle. And so being able to do that with her was a game changer because I think that definitely amplified the ability for her to get the results that she got. But also something else that I want to touch on is a lot of women look at strength training as which they're gonna come in and like they start lifting weights and they're gonna get bulky. And that is not something that is going to happen unless you're eating, you know, like a huge amount of food at a huge calorie surplus, or even at which you have more testosterone in your body like men do. So I wanna just completely debunk that myth. You will not get bulky by lifting weights. Another one I think that is a common like mental thing that a lot of women will resonate on is the fact that like a lot of women just don't know how to build a strength training routine and like what order to place these workouts, what exercises to hit, and how to do it consistently and consecutively over time. Now let's talk about the patience and the consistency that Cheryl implemented, and something that I think is so important that if you want to be like a Cheryl, you have to understand and you have to apply. Cheryl's level of patience is like unmatched, but most importantly, the level of consistency that she had throughout the program. What has taken her 3.5 years to accomplish is all due to the patience and consistency that she implemented. However, if she didn't have the patience and consistency that she implemented, this would have taken at least like double or triple the amount of time for somebody to accomplish. So it would have taken her upwards of like 9 to 14, 15 years if she was impatient, seeking for results quickly out of the gate within 2 weeks, wanting to see like a 10-pound drop, or, you know, with somebody that was like 6 months in and being frustrated, and then like because she was frustrated, you know, you may turn the corner and start eating all this food that puts you off for 2 weeks, or, you know, the level of consistency at which I see a lot of people can't nail down the consistency. And so that group will take double the amount of time to get to the result that they want. However, I want everyone to be like Cheryl and just accept the fact that, hey, I'm signing up for this, I'm gonna do this, and so therefore I need to put in the type of effort that is required of me to get to where I want to be. And I'm gonna be patient along the way, I'm gonna trust the journey, and I'm going to stay consistent on what I am told to do, because that's gonna get me the result that I want. That's exactly what Cheryl did, and that's why she was able to accomplish the goals that she did in 3.5 years. So if you're listening to the end of this video and you find yourself in what Cheryl may have been experiencing before she started her journey, and you want to be like Cheryl, I highly encourage you to get support, be held accountable, and have a plan to follow. And you can get that by joining WarriorBabe and getting into our VIP one-on-one coaching program. Everything that I'm sharing with you will be put together for you and your unique needs to get you to the goals that you want to accomplish. So check out the links in the description below.